Good evening and welcome to this new moon report that we're doing. It's an analysis of this new moon and the 5 things that we need to know. This is a really, really powerful new moon. And what's setting the tone, it's going to be in exact opposition with Pluto right at the moment of the new moon. So I'm going to explain that, why it's so important, things that we can do to be empowered, spiritual exercises. And I'm also going to do some divination cards at the end to get some messages from spirit. So I see, hello, Roseanne, you're the only one who's on right now. Where is everybody? Well, they're probably getting their notification and we'll be on soon. So I'm going to begin in just a minute because I do like to let the live people get their notifications and get on so they can catch things from the beginning. But anyway, how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? We are experiencing a real shift, a real spike, very powerful waves of energy that are affecting the collective consciousness, the energetic fields and everything like that of that nature. So there's a lot of energy that's affecting us, and it's very up and down. So I know a lot of people have been saying that they've been having up and down health stuff. I'm actually getting ready to pass a kidney stone. Fun. I can feel it getting very low there. So I've been going through my stuff. And I've had these experiences where I've just gone like into really deep trance and meditation and coming out of it and then just feeling like a different person. And it's like the way I'm processing things, the way I'm feeling, the way I'm seeing and perceiving things, it's all changing. I think we're all in this massive upgrade. So anyway, I'm going to say a few quick hellos. I see some people found us. So we have Roseanne. How am I feeling? I've been better, but I'm here. You've been very tired, huh? Yeah. So it's been up and down. Everybody, good evening, Jennifer, and hello, Mr. Floyd. Oh, hello, Jennifer again. Hello, Mr. Floyd. Been hanging out with Laura. Yes, so I know Laura's doing her readings. She'll be done probably in 20 minutes or a half hour, and then a lot of them they're going to come here. But that's Let's Spirit Guide channel if you want to catch that. Hi, India. Hi, Sasha. And Kathleen, welcome, Cecile. And all right, hello, Carrie. We're at Laura's also. Yes, love you too, Heart Sage. Thank you so much. So I've got everything in my notes. That's why I put my glasses on. I start out by talking about just some of the particulars about this new moon, and that kind of sets the table, so to speak. Talk about the 5 important things to know about this new moon, and also to understand that the new moon forms the template or the blueprint for the entire lunar cycle. So it's starting on Thursday. So knowing the energies, the exact energies of the new moon, and that can include the astrology and numerology. These are arts and sciences that have been practiced across many traditions for thousands of years with remarkable similarities and consistencies. There's something to it. It shows how energy moves through the cosmos. And whenever there's a new moon, it's a new energy, a new cycle, a new beginning. So understanding these energies, and if you want to take this a step farther and you have your own astrological chart, do your chart for the moment that the moon goes new, and you'll understand how these energies are hitting you personally. So this is going to be more of a general for the group and for the collective, basically. So without further ado, oh yeah, Felicia, definitely stay cool in that area, yeah. And we'll bring in war. I don't think that alone would do it, but there's other aspects that are enhancing that. But I just did a video for the next 3 months. I uploaded it today, in fact, and I talk about the different trends through the months and how August is going to be really different than July, and it actually supports more on the way of like negotiations and coming to the peace talks, although there's still a lot of that energy. So anyway, I had that all on a separate live stream. Yeah, extremely hot. Hello, Laura. Welcome, Lakeside Laura. All right, so let's dive in. New moon is at 3:11 p.m. on the 24th. This is Eastern time. So what would that be in Greenwich Mean? That's 8:11 p.m. on 7/24 in Universal Greenwich Mean Time at 2 degrees of Leo. Pluto's will be at 2 degrees of Aquarius, in exact opposition. You have to go to arc minutes to, so in other words, it's the exact same degrees. You've got to go to minutes in astrology to find any variant. That's an extremely tight opposition with power player Pluto, Lord of the underworld, right? So that is really kicking this new moon energy into overdrive. And the new moon's in Leo, which is a powerful sun sign. The moon and the sun, it's almost like opposites, and they're opposing each other, which is very interesting because the sun and the moon are in an exact conjunction when the moon is new. So that's what happened. So if the new moon and sun are aspecting Pluto, that means they're aspecting Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, because all four outer planets are in a harmonious alignment that's supporting awakening. It supports peace. It supports transcendence of the old matrix and stepping into the new earth reality. And this is going to be it's been going on for what? It's going to go on into and probably through a lot of 2026. Eventually, Uranus is going to pull off of that because it moves faster than, or actually Saturn will pull off quicker because it moves faster than the other planets. But for the time being, it's all happening. So this is huge changes in the collective field, and it's very much about the ascension. So that's being shown. So the new moon, it's going to be, I have it all written down because I'll never freaking remember this stuff. The sun and moon are going to be trining Saturn and Neptune, and they're in a conjunction. They just went into Aries, so they just went into the first sign from the last sign of Pisces. So where things get a little bit not bogged down, but more like emotional, watery, and more of an intuitive, more of a sleepy vibe. Saturn Neptune conjunction is just waking up in the first sign of Aries, that fire sign. And Saturn and Neptune together is going to expose a lot of illusions, delusions, and problems in the world. So lots getting exposed, and this is going to be highlighted in this new moon and the period on. So it's also sextiling Uranus, which is at 0 degrees of Gemini currently. So the sun and moon are aspecting this. And another important aspect is Venus and Mars are going to be squaring in the mutable signs at 21 degrees, Gemini and Virgo, respectively. And another important facet is in numerology, it's a 22 universal day. That's a master number. It's Uranus guided. It's the master builder. So that's important also. And whenever you have master numbers in the numerology, it takes on a higher energy, a higher frequency. That's really, long and the short of it, this is really describing our ascension and the new spike in our spiritual awakening in our ascension, basically. So that's basically it. 4 planets are currently in retrograde. That'd be Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, and Mercury currently. I think Jupiter's still direct, right? I could look that up, but I think that's the one still direct. But anyway, so we've set the table, Retro City, yeah. We've set the table, right? So now the 5 things that we need to know. Well, it's the transformation of humanity, right? So the first thing that we need to know is this is a consciousness revolution. And I uploaded a video recently on what that means. Or was that the video I uploaded today? I can't even keep track. I think I uploaded that one this morning, actually. So it's about awakening and global awakening, personal awakening, and the consciousness revolution, meaning that consciousness has long been suppressed in our society for a long time. A lot of the outer planet aspects, although they're different, they kind of, in a way, align to what was going on in the mid-60s with some of the astrology. And that was like a freedom movement back then. That was the hippie movement, right? The anti-establishment, a lot of anti-Vietnam demonstrations, stuff of that nature, the summer of love. So we have a similar vibe starting to evolve this summer. And that was a conscious revolution for that era and that time. So now it's on another level because there's a lot more attention and focus on spiritual awakening, ascension, and things of that nature. So the revolution is overcoming those forces that are trying to keep us down and to keep us separated from our own divinity, from our own power. So then when we're separated, we're weaker, we're easy control, and the powers, those that control all the money and that control the world, basically leverage further control over us. But the revolution is just that: it's overthrowing those forces of chaos, of negativity, if you want to call it evil or the dark side, whatever. It's really part of the matrix, part of our learning, ascension, and growth at this time, basically. So it's not negative, it just is. It's just part of our lessons, it's part of our collective karma, it's part of our revolution. So it's so very, very important. This is going to really kick in, and what that's going to mean is that we're going to start to see during this lunar cycle a big spike in people having spiritual awakenings. And those of us that have had awakenings, we may have our next awakening. There's not just one, there's different levels of awakening that we achieve spiritually. But a spiritual awakening is just that: it's awakening to who we are as spirit. And we start to become aware of energy and frequencies that go through us and everything. And we start to realize that as spirit, we are connected to all spirit, and therefore we're connected to everything. And it's not an intellectual thing, it's just an inner knowing that takes place when you evolve from a lower uh, frequency and lower conscious frequency, or quantum level might be a better way of putting that, and ascending to a higher quantum level, which is a higher resonance, higher velocity and frequencies of energy, cosmic energy working with us and through us. So let me see what else I've got written down here. Direct Pluto opposition at 2 degrees make this possibly the most powerful new moon of the year. I think it's close to a super new moon also. So I think the moon is actually closer. I'm not 100% sure of that, but if you guys know, let us know in the comments about that. The aspect, the outer planets, including revolutionary Uranus. So again, conscious revolution. Number 22 is Uranus ruled. So it's a lot of that Uranus, that freedom energy, that conscious community, that revolutionary and evolutionary energy plays in. Uranus ruled, and it's I can't even remember. Favors thinking outside of the box. So this lunar cycle really favors making decisions where you're not conforming, but thinking outside of the norm. And open your heart, open your mind, open to spirit, and then you get those out of the box ideas coming in. So what else? Waves of higher frequency have been hitting the planet and collective fields for a while, which is why a lot of us feel off and feel different, and maybe are getting more intuitive and more in sync with our own lives, what's happening. Maybe shadows are starting to surface that need to be cleared. So when we start to raise our frequency vibration, it dislodges stuck things within our energy field, which could be suppressed subconscious shadows, suppressed traumas. So they start to move also as part of this awakening. And freedom issues under scrutiny big time in your life, your personal life, your community, as well as the world at large. So we're going to see a lot of pushing back with the oppression around the world. We're already seeing it. It's going to hit another level, if I'm correct in interpreting these energies that are coming in, basically. So freedom issues under scrutiny, relationships and arrangements that compromise freedom, and I can't read my writing, but I think we get the idea. All right. Why do I bother writing things down if I can't read them right? Energy shown for the new moon catalyzes a big spike in awakenings. Humanity gets jolted by the higher frequencies. Many begin to feel different. There could be like things like ascension symptoms, purging, more sensitivity to the EMFs, the artificial frequencies that we have to deal with on a day-to-day level, stuff like that. Conflicts increase due to the resistance, so we see more conflicts around the world, more demonstrations, stuff like that, globally and locally. So you may be pulling away from friends, possibly even partners and relationships that are restricting your freedom, that are stunting your growth and evolution at this time. So you're going to see a big splitting going on in society as well as in our personal lives. And I said this already, but ascension symptoms, EMF sensitivity, empathness, is that a word? Empathicness, for those that are empath, tends to increase. So we tend to feel more. So how do we counter that without losing our sensitivity? Ground and open the heart. So when you're grounded in the earth, you can be sensitive and feel the energies without being overwhelmed. And when you open the frequency of the heart, the largest electromagnetic generator in the body, you create a stronger field around you that resists negativity or just feeling more than you want to feel. I'll put it that way. And also, well, we're getting into point number 2 now. Powers of control try to prevent awakening, leads to more panic-driven news, more distractions, more hits against our freedom with the laws and stuff like that. So that is number 1. So number 2, portals will open. We are specifically talking about the very famous Lionsgate portal that, according to my research, and it varies, there's different ideas, but the Lionsgate portal is not new. It was celebrated in ancient Egypt, I believe in Sumatra and other areas of the old world, basically, because they recognize that during this time of year that a light opened. It's the heart of Leo season, so it's the Lionsgate portal, and Leo rules the heart, so the sun and the moon are at 2 degrees Leo. Now, interestingly, 2 degrees is also lunar-based numerology, so it adds, again, a little bit of extra juice to this new moon, and it's close to a super new moon, so it's very powerful. It'll affect the emotions, ups and downs, just like it affects the tides, and things like that. But back to the Lionsgate portal, around July 28th is when you'll first, if you're up at the pre-dawn hours, you'll first start to see the dog star Sirius, the very powerful energetic portal. And whenever I gaze at Sirius, which I can only do because I live in the mountains, it's only visible late autumn into the very early spring, and right above the mountains to my south. Whenever I gaze in it, I swear it blinks. I mean, I know all stars blink, but like blinks, like it's Morse code, and I feel it, and it's transmitting information. And I've heard other new age teachers or new earth teachers talking about similar things with that. And it's believed that Sirius is a portal to higher dimensional information and coding that we can receive. So it's called the dog star. So the dog days of summer start around the 28th of July, if I've got that information correct. And then there's an alignment that happens near the 8th, around that time of the star Sirius and the Pyramid of Giza and something else. I have to redo my research as we're getting back into this time. But it's the heart of Leo season. It's eight numerology, which is very interesting. So it's 8 is the heart of it. That's about 15 degrees Leo. So that's the other world axis. 15 degrees of the fixed signs, or those midpoints between not eclipses, those midpoints, try again, midpoints between the solstices and the equinox is 15 degrees of the fixed sign. So that's, some astrologers call that the world axis also, as well as the 0 degrees of the cardinal signs. So it's got that 8 energy, but this Lionsgate portal is going to be more powerful for a couple of reasons. One, August is going to be a universal 17 month. That reduces to 8. The full moon is going to be on the 9th, so right at the heart of the Lionsgate portal at exactly 17 degrees of, oh gosh, what sign is it? Aquarius. Thank you. Uranus ruled Aquarius. So this Lionsgate portal is extremely important. And I believe energetically that it's going to be opening in this new moon because the sun in Leo is going to conjunct the moon in Leo. I believe that that's going to energetically open this portal, but it's going to peak. We'll be doing transmissions and more information on that. So other portals may be opening also. There's the Perseids meteor shower is just starting, that peaks more around the 12th or 13th of August. So we come into this Leo season, a very spiritual time, and Leo rules the heart. So a good time to really work with the heart, expand the heart, do your heart-brain coherence. And the more your heart is open and the more you're radiating the inner sun through your heart, the more you align with the Leo sun, and the more easily you step into these high vibrational portals, and then you ascend to whatever your next level might be, or whatever new information or new spiritual gifts are waiting for you as you enter into the portal. So that's the second thing to know. Let me grab a little water. So the third thing that we know is our reality will shake, the tower will fall. July is a 16-month in numerology. Those of you that have been here for a while know what I say about the number 16 because it's the tower card in major arcana, and in Chaldean numerology, its symbol is the shattered citadel, which is basically the same thing as the tower. So when we go through 16 energies, it reduces to 7, so it's Neptune energy. Illusion to delusion to get dispelled. Higher consciousness enters in. It's very spiritual energy, but it's very powerful energy that hits and tears down those things that are unsustainable. And that can be in our personal lives as well as the big wide world around us. Also, we're recognizing the sun being very active. We're actually, just beginning in another high stream ionic flow from the sun. So there's a coronal hole that's starting to interact with the Earth fields. Apparently, the what is it? The NZ, the magnetic tilt is negative, highly negative, which actually makes the magnetic pulse stronger, makes it stronger, meaning that we may see northern lights tonight. So when it gets dark, take a look to the north and see if the northern lights are out when it gets dark out, basically. But anyway, so reality will shake, the tower will fall. Change is inevitable. Learn to not resist, but rather trust. I wrote that on the side of my notes. So reality will shake, the tower will fall. Aspects of solar activity spike geological and climatological extremes. I would not be shocked at all if we had a major, meaning 7.5 or higher, earthquake between the 24th, which is Thursday, and the 26th, which is Saturday. It's just that between the solar activity, between the oh gosh, what else? Between the new moon, because that's a gravitational pull, the solar activity, and what's been going on, Japan, watch out, Philippines, watch out, that area. And we've been building up to it, and there's a lot of geological activity. So this might tip the scales and produce a mega quake. Also, as we get into this energy, it's Leo is more fire. So during the Cancerian, and this is part of my July forecast, I predicted the flooding was going to be off the charts, and unfortunately, that one is verifying all around the world. Now we shift into a fire sign, so that may enhance fires, but I think a lot of the geological activity we see will be in the form of volcanoes. They see that there's a lot of activity in Yellowstone, a lot around Japan, a lot around Italy, Indonesia, all over the world. There's underwater volcanoes that are poised to erupt off the Pacific Northwest, off the Aleutian Islands, off of Russia, and the whole Ring of Fire area, basically. So we may really see that activity picking up as a result of that. Also, extreme weather, more of that heat waves, terrible heat wave, record heat wave going on in this country now, after a blistering record heat wave in China, following another blistering record heat wave in Europe. So the Earth's getting hotter. The sun is hot. And there is some human activity that exacerbates that. But the main thing is the large scale drivers of climate that are responsible for that. And with the fire sign, Pluto, the Pluto opposition, that, because that's the underworld, right? That's rumblings within the underworld that can help to catalyze these events, basically. So the Earth shaking changes in politics, world economy, etc. And your personal reality may be shaking also. So that's the third thing to know, that the reality will shake, the Earth will shake, and a lot gets exposed, a lot gets uncovered. It's been a process. So I think we see a spike in that. So a lot of changes there. Oh, there's more. Leo equals sun, more solar anomalies, which can enhance Earth events. It's the year of the snake also, right? So we're shedding skin, transmuting the poison into medicine. So on that note, I don't want anybody here to take this as doom and gloom or negative or anything like that. This is just part of a process of awakening. And as energy shifts, things have to happen on the earth. And because it's happening rapidly, it's happening more. So be aware and not scared, and do things, be prepared for possibilities. If you live by the San Andreas, or if you live by the New Madrid, whatever it is, have a plan in case something happens, basically. Uh, it's just part of the ascension. It's what needs to happen. The more that we can awaken and help others awaken, the smoother the transition will be, and the less we have to endure of anything major. This could, because Leo is solar energy. It's very fire. This could also fire up some things like things going on with escalation of conflicts in the world. It can ignite things like fire. God forbid, like nuclear issues, stuff like that. Attacks or stuff like that. Like I said, August shows a strong leaning towards diplomacy and peace. So there's going to be a mitigating and balancing effect that comes in as we get deeper into August. But it's the year of the snake. Transmutes poison into medicine, shedding of the old skin. This think outside the box, because that Uranus energy too, to understand the deeper meaning behind the fall and collapse of the structures of society and the structures of your own personal life and your community, basically. So the fourth thing to know is new beginnings, right? All new moons are new beginnings. Always a good time to manifest, to especially if it's something new, or if you're working on manifesting something you've been working to manifest in the past, doing it in a new way, and understanding these aspects that I explained can fine tune what it is that you may want to manifest, basically. But it's the 22 universal day in numerology, which is the master builder. So what is it that you want to build in your life? Is it more of a financial base? Is it a business? Is it a relationship? So if you focus on that aspects of building, and building the strong foundation to build a strong structure, that's how to really efficiently use these energies of new beginnings that are enhanced by a few factors. And if you know your chart and how the new moon is affecting your chart, then you can know what areas of your life would be best suited for new beginnings and to focus on. So that's kind of cool, right? Leo energy is going to add fuel, so that makes it powerful. Leo is the sun, so the sun creates everything, right? And everything also revolves around the sun. So it's okay to be a little bit self-centered, especially when your ultimate goals are to be selfless and to help humanity. Take care of your own needs, in other words. Say no when it's appropriate to say no. Being selfish can be a very empowering thing sometimes, in the right way, in the right balance. And again, that's kind of that poison into medicine. Like snake venom can kill you or can heal you. It just depends how it's applied, right? So things like that. So favors nonconformity, think outside the box. So I'll say that how many more times tonight, right? So that's basically it. So you can do your candles. The new moon, like the night of the new moon, up until about 72 hours, you're in that window basically to really focus on your manifestations. And how do we do that? We feel like it's already happened. We give thanks to the Creator for the manifestation that's already real in our lives, even if we don't physically see it yet. But be grateful, know it's real. Keep doing that, and through the power of repetition, your higher self will understand, your subconscious will understand, so you show up in the right way at the right time and create the right synchronicities to manifest your dreams, basically. So the fifth thing that we need to know is, drum roll, they're here. I do believe this is going to initiate a new wave of extraterrestrial activity. And that's part of the summer forecast for August. It's part of the, I haven't done the August monthly forecast. That's coming next week. We've got a lot of live streams next week. Speaking of live streams, tomorrow night, and I forgot to announce this on Tarot Time, my mistake, but Elaine Malloy, the master healer, teacher, who's been on the channel 3 times already because we love Elaine, is coming back to share more experiences and to do powerful transmission with us. And for those of you that don't know Elaine, she has contributed to training some very high-end healers in this world, including Heather Istara, who does the healings for us. And speaking of which, Thursday, she's going to be joining me for the new moon transmission. So we're going to do transmissions the evening of the new moon to really set this energy in order for you to excel and to blossom. And I'm not thinking the word I'm trying to think of, but thrive. Yes, and to thrive under these new moon energies. So for those of you that are new, we do energetic transmission to the master teacher. So they're masters at manipulating energy and frequency. So as we join, they will help to raise your frequencies, to help you to step into higher consciousness and create higher realities in your life, and to enhance your energetic fields. And it's really, really good and powerful stuff. And a lot of people on the thread can definitely attest to that, because they do it every time we do it here. And on that note, if you want to dive deeper into what we cover here and what we do on with the frequency channeling, we do even deeper work on Spirit Mind Family. That's our Patreon group. There'll be information on the pinned comment. So number 5, they're here. Big upsurge of extraterrestrial activity, UFO or UAP activity, sky anomalies. Many will get contacted. Mostly it's telepathic. Sometimes I see them. See a lot of Arcturians and beings that I don't even recognize, but I have a few groups that are working with me. They've been working more. I mean, one of the groups that they're blue, they're completely hairless and have dolphin-like skin, so they might be aquatic, and I don't know who they are, but they're blue beings. They're really lovely. They're very much like dolphins. But many will get contacted. You may have physical contact. That can happen also. Some people that are predestined or done this work in other dimensions or other lifetimes may be fortunate enough to be brought aboard a craft of one of the benevolent extraterrestrials. And when I say ET contact, we're talking about the benevolent ones, the ones that are here working with humanity, because they recognize that we are in a global ascension now and coming to a whole new level. So humanity is at the evolutionary, not crossroads, right? The word phase of development, from which would be equivalent from crawling to learning how to walk. So it's a really huge, significant step, basically, in our evolution. Yeah, so we're still quite primitive, even though humans and our collective ego is like, we're big bad, we're the prime life form on this planet. I think dolphins and cats and dogs, for that matter, have it over us. Maybe squids too, for all I know. But you understand the point, basically. So so since we're in this process, we've attracted a lot of help from those beings that actually seeded this planet with their DNA to create modern human from proto-human. At least that's my theory and a prevailing theory of how planet Earth may have even been created. It may have been terraformed. It may have been groomed for life, basically. I don't know that, but it's a sound theory and it resonates with me. But the point being is, and you may see more UFOs, but you may get contacted, and we're going to do a little bit of that at our retreat also. We're going to do from August 1st through 3rd here in the Catskill Mountains, the Escape the Matrix retreat. That's SPIRITFEST 2025. High-end spiritual work for those that are ready to transcend everything that's held them back into life and step into their higher power. So it's going to be a really good one. Again, there'll be information on the pinned comments, and I think also in the description of this video. There's still room available, which is surprising. Perhaps it's because you're supposed to join us. Because I thought this was going to fill up months in advance, and it hasn't. Maybe it's supposed to be a more intimate group, but whatever the case, I'm good no matter what size it is, just to put that out there. But I know this is going to help a lot of people that join us. So anyway, what else do I have here? So inner earth beings start to get more known, more interaction with Sasquatch, with dragons, and other high beings that are working with us at this time. A lot of different sky anomalies, stuff like that. I know you'll be there in spirit also. They always say 9 minutes behind. What am I not 9 minutes behind? Okay, protected. See all the truth way. Oh, okay, so everybody's going to know. Well, you know what? If you want to go to Victor's, go to Victor's. You can always catch the rest of this on the replay. I'm not offended. Basically, go have at it. All right. So anyway, so there's a few exercises for this energy I want to talk about. Then we're going to do our divination cards as well. Um, um, anything and everything to clear yourself for higher frequencies, do it. That can include, and we have still 2 days. This is an excellent time to do a fast. I've got my lemon water here. I've been doing it. I'm also passing a kidney stone. So there's another reason I'm drinking tons of water. And I think it's getting ready to go in my bladder, not to be disgusting, but the pain is all of a sudden is like, shoop, through the roof. So anyhow, right, purging, right? That's a form of purging. It's also a form of dehydration, right? That'll learn me not to drink enough water during a massive heat wave, right? But anyway, I'm turning 67. It's my first. I'll forgive myself for that. But anyway, point being is that this is a really good time to clear. The dark of the moon, like the last couple of days of the waning moon, is typically a great time for clearing the slate anyway and preparing for the new energies of the new cycle. So emotional purging, shadow integration work, physical purging and cleansing, do it up until the new moon, and you can even do it in the early new moon cycle also. Mind, body, spirit cleanse. Sun gazing, how about that? It's the Leo new moon. Leo is the sun. Please, unless you really are confident you know what you're doing, no longer than a half hour after sunrise. I don't want anybody's eyes to get hurt. I mean, truth be told, is the brightness of the sun's, in the higher sun supersedes the UV. So chances are very good that your eyes will hurt before the UVs will burn your retinas out. But so I wouldn't want to take a chance. If it's later and the sun's higher, another way you could do this is not stare directly at the sun, but allow the sunlight into your eyes without staring at it. But again, if you start to feel a little bit uncomfortable, close your eyes. I usually do it. I squint so my eyes are almost open just a crack, and then I let if the sun's high, I let the sun in without gazing or staring right at it. Do this with discretion. Again, I don't want to give advice that's going to hurt somebody, but you're fine if you just do sun gazing, especially after sunrise. Half hour, you might be able to get away with 40 minutes, but after that, the sun starts to get brighter. So anyway, sun gazing, solar blast meditation, and the way we do that is we get really relaxed, like we're doing heart brain coherence. So as we expand the frequencies of the heart, we imagine the sun's in our heart and shining outward, and that bright sun is illuminating all the dark areas. That clears the shadows, right? Shadows or darkness is cleared. Like you've shined a light on a shadow, there's no shadow anymore. So you allow that light to shine and expand through your body and energetic fields, through all the dark crevices of your being, to illuminate it, to clear, and also so that you can shine like the sun and that you can be a light in this universe and in this world, basically. Anything else I wrote about that? Some less about this. Feel the sun in your heart, expand it outwards. That'll cleanse and enhance and strengthen your energetic fields, especially around now in this Leo new moon energy. This will enhance your will. So it's a good time to give up any negative habits or stuff like that. Personally, I was thinking of quitting smoking crack. Just kidding. But this is a good time to do that, because Sun and Leo is the will. So our wills are stronger. So anything we need to overcome, it's good to really apply that energy. This Lionsgate portal is going to help you with that. You do spiritual work geared towards mastery of the self. You master yourself. Maybe do some cold plunges. I do my cold showers that aren't cold enough this time of year. I mean, I still do them. They do something, but February is the time when I can almost see the icicles coming out of my shower. But if you can do cold plunges, even better. But do things. mastering the self. Basically, there's ways to do that. And if you have any questions, check out Wim Hof and watch his videos. He'll teach you how to cultivate your will for mind over matter. He can sit in an ice tub for up to, I think they did it for 18 minutes without his body temperature changing at all. That's an ice bath. An ice bath is 34 degrees. It's not 32 degrees because the body heat warms it slightly, but 34 degrees. My shower at its coldest maybe gets down to 40 or 41, and that is bone numbing cold. From a shower basically. He's also ran a half marathon where in the Kalahari Desert, or another one, or a full marathon in the desert, a half marathon in the Arctic Circle barefoot, climbed to the top of Mount Everest in shorts without oxygen. Incredible mind over matter feats, incredible use of will. And when we cultivate the will, we transcend the limitation of the body. And that happens by connecting more with spirit and source. And by doing that, you ignite certain dormant DNAs that give you that superhuman ability that you can endure things, extremes that you can normally do if you haven't opened those portals, those potentials up yet. Basically, the Native Americans of the Lakota specifically do a Sundance ceremony, which is also a huge thing about mind over matter, because they get pierced in the back and hang from a tree for 4 days. No food, no water after a sweat lodge. So again, once you transcend the flesh and you connect with the spirit, it will support the body's survival in ways that science is really only starting to discover how. I mean, I'm sure there's biochemical and physiological reasons that happens, but I don't think it's been discovered yet. So anyway, let's do some divination cards. It's Brooke saying, hey, I mentioned dragons a little bit ago. I don't know if you heard that part. So anyway, what I have here is called the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, one of the Rebecca Campbell's decks, artwork by Danielle Noel. Beautiful, beautiful. So, can't read chat. You saying always promoting other channels, a little insulting. You think? I'm sorry, Michelle. I don't understand that comment. But here we actually encourage people to promote their own channels, or at least let us know that they exist, because we're all a community here. But in any event, if there's something that was a little bit off, I apologize. If somebody crossed the line, if that's what you're saying, I went up enough. Oh, okay, yeah. So so here we go. Yeah. So anyway, but thank you for looking out, Michelle. Though, thanks for looking out. You done nothing wrong, just to be clear. So let me clear my mind. Okay, clearing my mind. So this is the card they drew me to. If my dry fingers can extract this from the deck, that would be of a huge help. Here we go. The Great Severing. So we have not pulled this card yet in one of these live streams. So this is what the cards look like. It's the Starseed Oracle. You may get messages just from the imagery. Beautiful artwork, right? It almost looks like, I don't know if that's a dragon, or it almost looks like a big cat. Maybe the Lyra and the cat people are and stuff. And let's see. The Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening the love. So Mars is actually active in a square with Venus. Let me double that. No, I think I remember that. Yeah, Mars is in Virgo right now. Mars is, when we end, look to the southwest, pretty high in the sky, and Mars is really beautiful and bright right now. And it's in the astrological sign Virgo, which basically means it's in the constellation Leo. Could I use almost exclusively Western astrology that's based on the season rather than the sidereal or Vedic astrology that's actually based on the constellation? Both work, both have their merits, by the way. Both systems are amazing. But so there's a lot of this Mars energy. So we feel a lot of that stress and anger. And again, it's the year of the snake. So I believe they're telling us in this card, if you get frustrated yourself or if people around you are frustrated, you can be the alchemist. You can turn energetic lead into gold. And sometimes just a smile or a warm opening of the heart or an embrace can flip that energy, or just being gentle and embracing yourself, basically. So what else do I see? All right, I'll let you guys gaze upon this for a second. Then we'll go into the next one. That's a good and really powerful message. Oh, yeah. What do I have in Scorpio? I have Jupiter and Neptune at 4-degree Scorpio. Then you have to go to arc minutes to find a separation. In my 10th house, no, what is it? Neptune and Jupiter. Oh God, anyway, I've got stuff in Scorpio in the 8th house, and yeah, I can have a very Scorpio sense of humor and sense, and Scorpios have been around me my whole life. My older brother's Scorpio. My son's mom's a Scorpio. Great people. Have their issues, but then again, so do Libras, right? That's my sign. So do Virgos. So it's all good stuff, right? So anyway, the great severing. So that's an important message, that this is the time to sever from those lower energies that are holding us back. You can even do something on the order of like a decording, like cutting cord, but this could be with the lower collective, the lower 3D, or the humans that are programmed, that are basically propagating the programming onto us. And somebody hasn't done their deprogramming work, basically those darker forces can access us through them because they haven't cleared that yet. So sometimes, not in a mean way, but sometimes we have to sever that, and we have to separate from those people. I had to do that to a few people lately. So the great severing from those lower energies. You can't sever without love, though, right? You can't just cut it away. Otherwise, you don't learn the lesson. So the idea is to thank those lower forces for what they've taught you and how you've grown in the process. And then the severing becomes much easier, right? So moving right along, we have the Moonology card. After all, it is a new moon. So Moonology. MDR's in, yay. All right, Adrian, welcome. More planets in Libra. Leo moon, wow. Leo moon, Mars in Virgo. Planets in Libra. That Leo moon is in your chart would be very interesting, because it really it's the right way of putting this. It really makes you much lighter, happier, and healthier person. I'll put it that way. Not that there's anything wrong with those other aspects, but that moon sign of Mars is really good. Oh yeah, that would be awesome, Allison, if I pulled that card. By the way, I let you guys talk about your channel. I don't do a heck of a lot of self promoting, although I did talk about my retreat and my Patreon. So I did do a little of that. But if you like the video, please like it. Maybe we can get a few more folks to get this information out to a few more folks, basically. All right, so clearing my mind. And we've got this is full moon in Capricorn. So what are we? New moon. We're technically new moon in Leo, full moon in Capricorn. All right. Well, anyway, the message is the end of a tough cycle approaches. So there is definitely a theme that's evolving through the divination card, severing, cutting ties, negative cycles ending. So this is the time to really embrace those endings again. Embrace it with love and gratitude, like the the coyote Native American legend, the trickster that fools us, actually tricks us into learning and becomes a spiritual teacher at the end of the day, after you have to wade through all the chaos and everything else that goes along with that. I think that we have a couple of coyotes running this world, certainly currently in our country, right? But again, tricks us into learning, right? So it's not a negative thing. It's all how you see it, right? How we see things is how it's going to resonate in our lives. So we can choose to see things in a different way. We can't be delusional about it, because then our subconscious mind will just reject it anyway. But if we're more in our rationale at work. So anyway, that's self-explanatory. So for a lot of us and for the world, a tough cycle is ending. So even though I know a lot of chaos and a lot's got to fall in order to be rebuilt is happening, but I can't wait to see what this new energy is after the type cycle ends that we've been in for a long time here on the earth. Basically, in the Vedic tradition, it's the end of the age of Kali Yuga and the beginning of Satya Yuga, right? So that's the age of enlightenment. So that's right around now. It's the timing is different in the Hindu religion, but in the Vedic, ancient Vedic, which I feel personally resonates more with me, is that's what it says, and that would sort of coincide with everything that's going on, all the prophecies, from Revelation to Nostradamus to the Mayan, the Hopi prophecies, all saying the same thing right around this time. It's happening. We are preparing, and since you are here, we are preparing together, basically. And we have, for those of you that are new, we have a lot of videos, a lot of resources, a lot of playlists, whether it's heartbreak coherence, shadow integration work, whether it's psychic forecasts, developing your intuition, talking to spirit, developing your mediumship, developing your healing abilities, healing yourself. Everything spiritual that's of the light is included on the medium channel. The byline is the spirituality behind the message. So I'm a professional medium, and I do readings professionally, mediumship and psychic readings. And what I present on this channel is basically the spiritual work that I do to support my evolving and growing abilities as a medium. And that's really the foundation of this channel, basically. I'm trying to get through this. I'm not flashing a lot of your comments. This one caught my attention. I think useful idiots or useless idiots. Useful idiots. Coyotes are just. That's a good point. Coyotes are smart. The turtles are pretty cool too. Yeah. Thank you, Lakeside Laura. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. On a much more of a watered down level, I'm just wondering if our current president is synonymous with the Claudius Caesar. The one that everybody thought was an idiot, was slow, so forth and so on, that the Senate can control. Yes, let's get Claudius Caesar up there. Then he turned out to be absolutely brutal, right? I don't think that's Donald Trump, just to be clear. But I think there's, we'll just say, a very general loose connection, maybe. I don't know. But it's the coyote energy. And as I often say, that we created this in the world. It's a reflection of us, of our collective consciousness. When we learn the lesson and grow, doesn't matter if you love him or hate him, that's when it's going to end. And it's going to end when the mission is done, where the chaos has unveiled everything. So then we can carry on and rebuilding the world. Basically, he's not the only one. I don't want to overemphasize the importance of this in this presidency, but it's worth mentioning. Since I brought him up, what I feel. Oh, thank you, Felicia. Oh, this is one of my favorite colors too. My pleasure. I appreciate your donations. Yeah. A cosmic trigger. Thank you, Michelle. That's a beautiful way of looking at that. Power of a person. Thank you, EP. Yeah. And someone's mentioning Shakespeare. Claudius Caesar. You just on the I have to read Julius Caesar again. I mean, I'm still a big fan of the Tempest, and I'm still kicking myself. I think it was 1992 or 93 for missing Patrick Stewart, the quintessential Shakespearean actor turned Captain Picard, playing Prospero in the Tempest. It's like, I missed that. No. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's do a I have the medicine cards also. So let's do a quick pull from this deck. Get our totem animal for this should you bother? Yeah. I think so. All right, thank you, Carrie. And welcome, by the way. All right, so medicine cards. Here we go. We got the owl. Wow, that's a very powerful totem too. Key 21 in this. Yeah, that's sometimes it's the night eagle. Yeah, the what is it? The harbinger of death. But of course, death is symbolic. Death is new life. It's change. It's in transformation. So again, very powerful message we're getting for this new moon, suggesting that we are in a process of ending a cycle of darkness, of suffering, and coming into a new light and a new energy and a new vibration. So the owl helps us to see through the dark. So if you do shadow integration work and you have a shamanistic leaning, or if owl is one of your totem, invite your owl in to take you through those dark and difficult places, and that'll help you to be able to identify, integrate, and then clear the shadows. You can't clear them without integrating the experience. It realigns your soul. Like souls get fragmented through traumas in this another lifetime. The shadow integration helps to the shadow integration work reintegrates your soul parts, right? That's a shamanistic concept. And by doing so, you become more complete, you become more powerful, and then your life works better and your law of attraction works better, and all that good stuff. And last but not least, since we're going on an hour already, is the frequency from the Sacred Geometry Oracle deck. So the frequency for us to work on in this new moon. And by the way, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, we're doing a transmission on Spirit Mind Family for the Patreon people. That's the inner core community. Information will be on the comments. And then at 8 o'clock on Thursday, wait. 8 o'clock tomorrow, we have Elaine Malloy, the master healer. She's going to be sharing a lot of amazing things. I was chatting with her earlier, and she's just off the charts amazing. So you're going to love that interview. And I think she's going to take us through a process. Thursday is the new moon transmission, with Heather doing the healing transmission and me working with the master teachers for the energetic upgrade. And we kind of, our guides sort of intermix with each other. Anyway, clearing my mind. Here we go. Next week, we'll do mediumship night on the channel, do our August psychic forecast. So we got lots of stuff going on in the medium channel. So we got 12 change. The theme is so consistent through all 4 pulls. Change, right? Severing, letting go. Are there 2 cards here? This card feels awfully thick, but it's just 1 card. All right, and what it says is the frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. And that is that. So, wow. That's all I have to say is wow. Welcome for everybody that came from Victor's meditation. That's Truth Wave meditation. Does beautiful meditations every day, right? So there's another of the many channels here. People that have channels that participate in the work in this channel. It's a big growing community that's expanding. And there's so many people doing beautiful work, and we're all connecting as time goes on. And thanks for connecting with us here. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, please share with a friend, like, comment. And if you want to see more of the Medium channel's videos come up on your home feed when you log on to YouTube, That's what subscribing to the channel does for you. So again, thank you, everybody. Love you guys. What great card, right? And what synchronicities, right? All saying pretty much the same thing in different ways. Love when that happens. Spirit is with us. We made it. I believe we made it through the worst. And even though some hard things may still show up in our lives and or whatever, I think we're starting to turn a corner. And I think it may take years for things to fall into place, but being the spiritual warriors that you are and helping and being part of this, your amazing community, our amazing community, the amazing world community, the extraterrestrial community. Keep an eye to the sky, more sky anomalies, more UFOs. And you can even light a candle or go outside and call the extraterrestrial guides in. And it may not happen the first time or even the second time, but you might be surprised at what happens. And sometimes I'll just see them and feel them, and I'll get messages that way. I haven't had any personal physical encounters other than them showing up in my room, not physically, but I could see them with my physical eyes, if that makes sense. The more their energy showing up. All right. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Love you. And we will see you at the next video. Namaste.